It'll be one to go this time by. Coming to the green, buddy, coming to the green. Let's go get him. Go, 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 dig, 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 go, 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 go.
Get your motor running. Head out on the highway.
Yeah, well, thank you for all the media on the line today joining us for this very special NASCAR Cam video teleconference in advance of Sunday's All-State 400 at the Brickyard at Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Have a special guest today, Ryan Newman, driver at number 12 Alltel Dodge. Ryan, as most everybody knows, won this year's Daytona 500. He's a South Bend, Indiana native, currently coming in 16th in the NASCAR Sprint Cup Series point standings. Ryan, you won the Daytona 500, biggest race of the year. So now we come into another truly major event on the schedule at Indy. What's the outlook coming into another really big one?
Just look forward to the opportunity. It's a great racetrack. A lot of great fans up there. For me, especially being from South Bend, an Indiana native, and my family. My sister lives out on the west side of Indy. Get to go visit them. We go to the fair and have fun and eat elephant ears and things like that. So it's special in a lot of ways. But from a racing standpoint, just another opportunity to get what I feel is the second biggest race of the year and try to get that victory.
Great. We'll be ready to go to questions now from the media for today's NASCAR Cam guest, Ryan Newman.
Thank you. The question and answer session will be conducted electronically. If you wish to ask a question, you may do so by pressing the star key followed by the digit 1 on your touch-tone telephone. If you're using a speakerphone, please make sure your mute function is turned off so your signal can reach your equipment. Once again, that is star 1 to ask a question. We will pause for just a moment to assemble the queue. We'll first hear from Travis Braun with USA Today.
Doing?
Hello.
Just wondered, this is being the 15th anniversary of the Brickyard. Wondered if you could talk about your most memorable moment at the track and maybe compare your first race in 2001 to how it is today.
Honestly, I can remember I was down in Indianapolis when they first opened for open testing. I don't think it was when I think Earnhardt Sr. was the first guy to actually go there and test, but I think the first open test that they had, my mom and I were down in Indianapolis doing some things involved in my racing, and we heard them over at the track, so we went over into the garage area and walked right in the garage area and mixed up, and just, I mean, it was neat to actually walk out on pit road at an open test for NASCAR at, the Brickyard. That to me was a very memorable moment. It was, I think it was, might have been June, July, something like that. I remember it was really hot, and it was just neat to be part of and see a part of what I wanted to do in my future from a driver's standpoint. So that on top of having some good runs there, being close to winning a pole, a couple thousandths off of Harvick there, I think in '03, and I think we finished 4th there one time. I think it might have been the same year, but just we've had some good runs there. It's a great racetrack as far as just pure driving the car around the racetrack. It is not the greatest, I think, racing as far as side-by-side and things like that, but there's a lot of drama around the Brickyard for sure.
Mr. Braun, anything further?
No, thank you very much, Ron. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
We'll now hear from Peter Pistone with Racing One Media.
Hey, Ryan, when you go to Daytona next year, you're going to have a chance to win the Daytona 500, obviously back-to-back, but for two different teams since you're going to be leaving Penske. And kind of wondering what your thoughts are about that. That has not been done too often in NASCAR history.
No, I don't even know the stat if it has been, but that's just the way my career path is right now. I take that for what it's worth. Obviously, I'm trying to align myself with a team that I can feel can give me a great shot for a championship, as well as coming out of the box with the Daytona 500 victory. So I will, approach those things as I need to when the time comes.
Kind of a new ballgame this weekend, obviously, with this car at the Brickyard. Can you kind of give us a little bit of a view of how you think this car is going to handle there and what other tracks, maybe Pocono, could you maybe use some information to help you out this weekend?
Well, I know for sure it's going to be super aero-sensitive. This car has definitely been that way. The bigger the racetrack, the faster we go, the more it seems like we struggle with the dirty air. Obviously that's a factor with any race car when it has downforce, but this car especially. And, I think Indianapolis has a little bit of everything with the exception of turning right involved, because you have the super long straightaways, engines, horsepower, definitely super important. Handling, obviously, any kind of corner you have makes handling important, but the corners are almost like a short track. So from a short track standpoint, you get heavy braking, you get kind of the flat, Loudon type feeling in the corners. But in the end, you still have to have the horsepower to get you down the straightaway. So, we go there and try to do what we need to have fun.
Well, thanks, Ryan. Good luck this weekend.
Thank you.
We'll now hear from Bob Cockris with NASCAR Cam.
Hey, Ryan. Just was wondering, since you announced last week about leaving Penske, how much has your phone rang even more with offers, and can you kind of give us an update of, have you narrowed down your selection process at all?
Tony Stewart called. He offered me a ride in one of his sprint car teams, and outside of that, not a whole lot. A lot of things were going and rolling before my announcement for that. But I will say that I'm entirely dedicated to the number 12 Alltel Dodge throughout the rest of the season. Both the people at the company and Roger Penske himself. And I don't know. I don't have an announcement to make, but I'm sure you'll hear about it at some point.
And can you kind of elaborate more on what? Obviously, first off, you meant a sprint car ride, right? Or did you mean?
Yes,
okay,
sprint car.
All right.
Yeah.
And
I was joking.
Okay. And can you elaborate on what made your final decision to part ways with Penske?
For me personally at Penske Racing, I've achieved a lot of things. I've been close to a championship. We were 6th 2 years in a row, and we made the chase for a couple of years, and for the last couple of years we didn't, and that was tough from a performance standpoint. We have had good runs. We've had good cars at times, but consistency hasn't always been there. Bottom line, it was Roger and I decided to just move on and do different things. For me, that I don't know the answer yet, what it is or where it's going to be. But like I said, I'm entirely dedicated to doing what I'm doing here throughout the rest of the season for my sponsors and for myself, more importantly, to just go out and have fun, but try to win races.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
And we'll now go to David Caravello with NASCAR.com.
Hey, Ryan, you touched on the new car at Indianapolis earlier, but I wonder, given that it's so difficult to pass there as it is, do you really expect it to be much different this time around from what we've seen in the past?
I don't think that the new car has made the racing a lot different at any racetrack we've gone to, and I wouldn't expect it to be a lot different at Indianapolis. Last year we had some, let's just say, tire issues where we were worried about the track rubbering up and making fuel runs. And, hopefully based on the test that they did this year, that we'll have a different situation when it comes to this car at that racetrack, because obviously we've had some tire talk this year with this race car. So, we'll see how it all works out. But I don't think the racing or anything in general should be way different than it ever has been.
That said, are those first practices? Is there going to be a lot of emphasis on who hits the new car there, and are those practices maybe going to be more important than they have been?
I think we do get a little bit more practice time than we typically do at a normal weekend racetrack. But I would say that in general, it's just this race car seems to be very sensitive, and it seems that there are certain teams that get it right at certain racetracks, and they dominate, whether it's a team itself or an organization. We've seen Roush be really strong at certain racetracks. We've seen Gibbs be really strong at certain racetracks. We've seen Hendrick struggle a little bit compared to what they used to do last year with this race car at certain racetracks. So it seems to be really hit and miss, but when you hit it, man, it looks like the guys that hit it right, and the whole organization hits it. So I don't think Indianapolis will be any different in respect to that.
Thank you, Ryan.
You're welcome.
And we'll now